Sorry about that. Hey everybody, how you doing? My name is John. I'm a painter. I like painting landscapes and still life and whatnot in watercolor. And yeah, I've just been really thinking a lot for like the past 6 years about style, painting style. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just been, it really bugs me. It really bugs me every day thinking about, oh, should I paint this way? Should I paint that way? Ever since I got into painting, I've really enjoyed the process of learning the technique, different styles, things like that. But I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, maybe you have this too, but I feel divided into two different camps of loose and tight and realist, you know. Not necessarily photorealism, but more like traditional realism, right? Now I'm sure some of these terms I'm going to say, and you might disagree with how I define them, but it is what it is. I appreciate you listening, and if you don't mind, I'm going to share some of my paintings and just talk about the different battles I've been going through with my artwork. And I know it sounds silly, right? But I think if you're an artist, or if you just, even if you're not an artist, maybe it makes sense to you, right? Maybe you would think, yeah, that really ticks me off too. Sorry for the lack of finesse with this video. This is literally the first time I'm getting on camera. Don't love it, gotta say. But I'm going to share some art and just show you the loose work first and then the tight stuff later. All right, here we go. So some of these paintings I've done from memory, from imagination, some out in the elements, painting seascapes, whatnot. Very loose stuff, very loose. This is a beach scene I did in Cape May last year. Just kind of borders on the abstract. If you're still here, I appreciate it. I'm probably sounding quite boring, maybe some staleness. But honestly, I just don't know how else to talk on camera. So I'm just gonna be straight, be real with you. This is a landscape I did from imagination, but it was kind of inspired by like a windy, rainy shore day in Ireland from a few years back. And I did some weird stuff like this recently, where it's like a sort of like a, I don't know, that's obviously from imagination, but this like little coastal castle type of work. Did this painting is from Hoboken, New Jersey. I grew up in Hoboken. Yeah, just like a rainy, I'm really interested in like the rainy kind of dramatic scenes, right? But I think I've gotten a little bit more colorful in the past year or so. This is a Venice canal scene. I love to paint things places that I've been to, from either from life or from photos that I've taken. I don't really like setting up a scene too much. I like seeing how things appear as I'm out and about. I don't ever paint from photos that I haven't taken, that there's just no connection there, right? I keep on looking over here. I should be looking over here, so apologies for that if my eyes are crazy. I probably look pretty insane right now, but if we segue into the more traditional kind of tight realist work, first of all, I find it very challenging to do. It does require a bit of skill, a bit of drawing skill. Drawing is so important, especially for watercolor. So I'll show you some things I've done. A little still life with some pumpkins that I set up downstairs. I just told you I didn't set up paintings. I didn't set them up with a photo, but sometimes I do. So there's one. And I don't think there's a good way and a bad way to paint. I think obviously skill is important. I think there is something such a thing as quality of work. I get that and I agree with that. But I think when it comes to style, at least for me, I've been so hung up on like, well, how do I want to showcase my work to the world? You know, I get so hung up on being on social media, posting on Instagram, um, you know, posting on a website, like my portfolio website. How is this going to be, excuse me, how is this going to be perceived? You know, do I want to be known as like an impressionistic painter? Do I want to be seen as like a serious kind of traditional classical artist? A lot of that is just, you know, complete BS, because it's about me. It's about, oh, what's going on in my head? How do I want to be seen? I don't like that, man. That's just such a stressful way to create art, right? Um, yeah, so maybe this is just me talking about that and going through it a bit, you know. This is a self-portrait I did. Watercolor, you know, more traditional. I used like a grisaille underpainting for this, which I had never done before. I took a workshop with Mario Robinson. That was incredible. He is an incredible artist, incredible painter, and a good teacher as well. And he's got some interesting thoughts on painting. Before that, I did a lot of plein air work with sort of, you know, some popular folks out there like Alvaro Castanet, Keiko Tanabe, folks like that. And it's very fun. It's great to paint loose. It's fun to be out and about, you know, just kind of being able to complete something in like 2 hours. But I feel like I constantly, maybe in the morning, I'm like, oh, I want to get out and paint like a loose painting. And that's that's what I want to do from now on. And then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm like, no, you know what? I think I really want to go, more classical, more traditional. And I get that sounds a little bipolar or something like that, you know. I feel like there's a different mindset happening. Maybe there's like a shift that I'm unaware of, but I feel like it's cool to see it on, you know, on camera, see the differences, right? You see like something loose and you see something tight. This is a backyard scene that I made in watercolor on, I think this is like very heavy duty Winsor Newton paper. This is a challenging one to do, you know, and I worked on it for quite a while, but you know, I like it. I think it turned out all right. This is one that I like, but also I would do a lot cleaner next time. This is a Venice Canal. If you look at this painting next to the other Venice Canal, I purposefully did two different versions of it. Excuse me for a second while I get down over here. I did this version, which is like loose and, you know, expressive, very sun, you know, afternoon sun. And then if I can get these stood up like this, I did this version, which is like gray morning, you know. Sorry, it's flopping around. These are just like loose paintings and watercolor paper where it flops around and all that. So I should probably get these like protected somehow. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know if you've ever, or if you do this on a continuous basis, like second guess your style, your approach, your art style, your paint, the way you go about creating paintings or drawings or whatever you're doing. I feel like it almost feels silly and like, oh, I'm wasting time, you know, by not painting. I end up not painting some days because I'm like, I just don't know what to do. I feel a lot of that though is coming from just being obsessed with what's online, right? Oh, I need to be validated by having this shown to, you know, 1 million people on Instagram or whatever it is. I want people to like it. I want people to comment. Oh, I want to, you know, people to share this or see, I want to gain followers. I really chased that for a while and deleted my socials several times. You know, I was like, oh, I don't need that anymore. But if you know, I find if you trying to be a full-time artist, I'm not a full-time artist right now, but I would like to be. You know, it helps to have an audience, obviously, and the online stuff, it's, you know, it's free, right? It's easy to post something, but it can be sort of all consuming. You know, if you have that sort of obsessive trait, you can kind of try to go all in and really be obsessed with the numbers. And then it just becomes not fun. You know, I just don't like doing it anymore. So yeah, I think I've scaled back. What's helped me in the past few months is scaling back. I don't really post on social. I try not to look at anything online as much as possible. I mean, I have Pinterest. I look at tons of artists, mostly artists from the past, for inspiration and just because I like doing it. But even then, I'm like, I get pulled in different directions, you know? Oh, I liked it. Oh my God, look at this Renoir painting, right? So beautiful. Oh my God, watercolor. It's like, you know, bright and colorful. And then I see an Andrew Wyeth. And I'm like, oh no. Like that's really cool. I like doing that. Yeah, just some like internal thoughts there. I think it keeps the whole process very interesting and complex in a weird way, because you're like constantly thinking about it and going in different directions. Art is not like a formula, you know, where, oh, I'm just gonna follow this path and then I'll wind up here. It's not that way at all, right? As if you're an artist, you know that. So yeah, I guess this is, you know, it's something that I'm really dealing with. I'm struggling with it a bit because it really does take away from my painting time. You know, at the end of the day, if I've worked my job, you know, I have a corporate job, so I work from home, but most of the time. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't want to paint right now. I don't want to spend, you know, an hour doing like a painting that's gonna take me ultimately 50 hours to complete. It's very hard to rationalize that, but then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, yeah, let's do like a tight detailed painting, right? And on the flip side of that, if I'm out and about, like if we go to the beach or something, like I just want to do a painting that's like takes me 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And I realize it probably sounds like I'm just complaining a bit, and maybe it's not even an issue, right, to some people. But I feel like I always have to be sure, like, oh, I need to know what kind of artist I'm gonna be. I need to know how to come off to people, you know, how to present myself as this type of artist. And I think if you're dealing with that, the best thing that you might be able to do, I don't know, the best thing you can do, I don't know. The best thing that it helped me was getting off of my phone. Don't look at Instagram, limit that Pinterest time. I don't really look at any socials now. I look at YouTube videos and that's about it. I try not to consume anything in the way of art as much as possible online. You know, if obviously you go to a gallery or a museum, like that's a different experience, right? Like that could be very therapeutic and helpful. But online, I feel like I can get so jaded, man, and just, you know, I get so hung up on appearances and superficial metrics, likes, whatever. So yeah, I think the purpose of this video is just to kind of chat about that. I guess I'll put this up online on YouTube, which sounds so ironic because I just talked about how I need to unplug, and I think that you should unplug if this is something that, you know, resonates with you. However, I think there's a time and place for these things. I think YouTube is a better platform, you know, long form content. I don't tend to scroll for 3 hours on YouTube like I would on TikTok or Instagram. But yeah, so anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you ever encounter similar style struggles or second guessing your confidence, your ability to paint a certain way. It's definitely a process. It's definitely a journey, right? And but yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you've been here the whole time, I appreciate it. I hope to share some more thoughts about painting, particularly watercolor. And if that interests you, feel free to like or subscribe. I know I talk about, oh, I shouldn't care about the likes or subscribing or whatever, but it's nice. It's nice to follow along. And it's on me. I gotta not think so much about the numbers. I just want to post it. I want to have a place where I can maybe find some folks that also, you know, resonate with the things that I'm thinking. So anyway, have a great rest of the day. I wish you all the best. Bye.